Hey guys, it's Steve for CollectorMania. I'm here with a special guest today. This is Loren, one of my good buddies. We're actually going to review his pretty top-notch Animar Wreck Your Face Soul of Elements deck.
I got him into Magic, so I'm like his sensei.
Yes, many years ago. Yes.
Many moons ago.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Animar. Let's talk about the reason why he's such a good commander, so strong, so
well. And as we've talked, I mean, we both have Animar decks. We've kind of taken different spins on it. Mine's a lot different. Yours is definitely more tuned for like actually winning. Like yours is more fine-tuned, more tournament ready, I'd say, whereas mine is more playful. It's definitely a different iteration. It's always fun to look at like the differences between our decks whenever we have them splayed out like this.
Yeah, the main difference between somebody's deck like mine and somebody's deck like Steve is I tend to focus more on early game, compelling me to mid game, because Animar goes off turn 5.
Oh yeah.
Steve's all about kind of the late game, but his board state late game is a lot stronger than mine, so it's kind of the difference.
Yeah.
The difference.
Yeah, really.
But it's cool. Yeah. So let's dive into this. So I've been playing Animar for years, and I've always tried to add new cards, and unfortunately these new sets that come out haven't been really good. But the latest set has really helped Animar, surprisingly, because in other formats, probably not so much, but in Animar specifically, and I think in EDH definitely does help. So we're gonna kind of dive into that. So let's start with the mana base.
Yeah. Some of our key mana dorks here.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you've got like your regular ones like your Birds of Paradise, your Llanowar Elves, you know.
Yeah.
You might as well put them up there, I mean, really. Like,
so, I used to run Farhaven Elf, and then Steve's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's a bad idea.
This one's a million times better.
This is a million times better, because it gets to search for a forest, which is great, because I run like stuff like Tropical Island or Breeding Pool.
Dual lands.
Yeah, and my Animar deck is like so island heavy. It's like, well, you want to get the best of both worlds.
Well, I think the big thing is, obviously with Animar, it coming in and having the land come in untapped is huge. Plus it being a creature itself, triggering Animar, getting the counter. I mean, I've done so many games with my deck where I've played Wood Elves and then played like Peregrine Drake right after it, untapping all your lands and then just playing a whole bunch of creatures. I'm sure you've done the same.
Yeah, that's true, because it like comes in play untapped and you basically cast it for free.
Yeah.
So it's very cost efficient. It's like you tap a forest, but you get whatever you want. So, okay.
Lotus Cobra.
Lotus
huge.
Cobra. Really big in a deck like mine where I pay life, but I get to search for lands. Super broken.
Oh yeah,
yeah. What's this? Yeah. So basically, if you get to play 2 extra lands, you get the landfall trigger from those lands that you played. Not to mention the land that you played that turn, and if they are ping lands where you get to search your library for lands, that's additional
fetch
lands.
lands?
Fetch lands. Yeah, and you get to search for the for additional lands. So that's like 2 landfall triggers. That's like 6 lands. Like,
Yeah, mana, essentially.
yeah, and that's free. That can be any color. So this guy, kind of these 2 creatures will kind of win you the game.
I mean, as long as you have ways to put lands in your hand, which, you know, we'll get into the card draw, which is in here, which is absolutely insane. He's got it pretty well fine-tuned that way, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so show off your bling here.
Yeah, I know, dude. So
There's a good story here. I'll let you tell it, but there's a great story.
yeah, so I was in the pre-release, and I was like, I don't want the best card. I just want a good card. If I could get, just like a Soul Ring, like the special cards that come out.
The inventions.
The inventions, and it's like all I wanted. So it's like, Steve, if I get a Soul Ring,
What was that, like your 3rd or 4th pack in, and then you open a Soul Ring?
Yeah.
And you didn't even stay for the rest of the pre-release.
I didn't want people to feel bad.
You had one of the best cards of all time to play in pre-release, and you didn't play with it.
I know. I could have just wrecked face, but I didn't want to you know, I already won at that point. I think
That's
I
very
already
true.
won, so I'm like, I'm good.
I'm good.
I don't want people to feel bad. Soul Ring, and like you get like this 4/4, and they're like, okay, just scoop.
I'm out.
I'm out. I don't want. Yeah. Yeah. So we don't need to go into detail with this.
Here, let me.
I'm sure.
I was gonna say if we want to just go over these kind of quick, the ones that do similar stuff like
Yeah.
Sylvan Caryatid, Birds of Paradise, you know, Elvish Mystic, they're all kind of the same. Especially these three, like Flinthorn, Corn Elves, and Llanowar Elves. Just tap for green. I'm sure just get your commander out super quick.
Yeah, get them out turn 2, which is if you focus more on early mid game, it's super good.
I know this is one of your favorites.
Yeah, and that one basically costs free, and then you flip it over. Really good if you want to cast Maelstrom Wanderer or something like that.
Or
You
even
know.
Animar early game.
Or Animar early game. That's true.
Yeah,
That's very
I
true.
know you love this card too. Wall of
Okay,
Roots.
so Wall of Roots, it doesn't have summoning sickness, so you can use it right away.
Well, it's got Summoning Sickness. It's just the activated ability doesn't require a tap or
yeah.
do anything with it.
So you remove counter and you get to add forest. You can use it on your turn. You can use it on your opponent's turn. So it's good, especially in 1v1 because that card will save you. I mean, it's 0/5 for 2.
Yeah.
It's going to save you a lot of damage.
You've got other such great, you know, mana accelerators as like Sucker, Tribelder,
Yeah, it's
And
probably
obviously,
pretty much
you
a
know,
staple.
and then Tender is
Loom
huge.
Tender is a staple too, especially since they have that 4-color.
Well, I find that if you're playing at anything that's 3-color or above, I mean, you're doing really good. When you're playing like a dual-color deck, I mean, it's okay, but you know, when you get to 3-color, 4-color, 5-color, this card is insane.
For sure, it's absolutely crazy. So adding 3 mana for just like basically casting it for free, it's great.
Because I mean, obviously, usually with Animar, you're either casting it before Animar or after, and if it's after, it's just 1 green mana to play it. So
Yeah.
it's an insane card.
So it's very cost efficient, and a lot of my creatures are very cost efficient.
We might as well, I mean, since we've talked about mana, we might as well just talk about card draw at this point. Since
Okay.
we kind of touched on that a little bit.
Be careful, guys.
Yeah. Sylvan Library.
Sylvan Library. I know you have 40 life, but you gotta be careful. If you play Legacy, you know how good this card is.
Are you like me where you just, I mean, when I play this card, I just keep paying 8 life until I can't. Like, I'm so used to people destroying it as soon as I put it out that if I get a draw on this, I usually pay for the life.
It really depends on what you have on top. But the greatest thing with Sylvan Library, and if you guys played Legacy, you know, you don't have anything good, just fetch,
Yeah.
and then you're fine. But I will tell you, paying 8 life, even in Commander, is going to take it's going to take a lot of life from you, and it's going to end up
Very
hurting you.
short
So you
amount
got to
of
be
time.
careful. There's not a lot of life gain in here, so be careful, guys. Be careful.
That might be one of the big differences between your deck and mine.
Yeah, you have a lot more life.
Yeah.
You know. Well, Edric,
Oh,
I
gosh.
mean, why would you
Let's
not?
play politics, why not?
Yeah, why would you not? I mean, he says if you attack an opponent, you're fine. You get to draw cards. Great, yeah.
Don't
If
hit
you
me.
attack
Don't pay
me,
attention to the guy behind the
You
curtain.
don't get anything. You don't get anything. And
Wow. And everybody knows why this card is busted. It really does play a strong political game. And, you know, I know whenever you play this, when we're playing together, I know that I need to get rid of him as quick as I can because I usually cannot convince my opponents to get rid of it for me. So
I know everybody feels bad when I play Animar. They're just like, let's try to get second. Concentrated Sphinx. Just
of course.
it's like if you're playing Commander, play with this card.
Yeah.
You get to draw so much with more than just one player.
Well, and I know a lot of
It's
people
insane.
think about like the 4/6 body, but that's actually pretty good. I mean, that avoids a lot of, you know, just random damage spells. Like, it can actually win you the game too, just being able to fly over for 4 damage and hit somebody in the face.
Yeah, and it also combos well with Edric. So.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, you get to draw cards whenever they draw cards, so now they're like,
This is a tech card for sure.
yeah, so this is kind of an early game card. If you have a lot of creatures that don't cost a lot of mana, you're going to be spending your resources.
Empty out your
You
hand
need
really
some.
quick.
Huh?
Empty out your hand really
Yeah,
quick.
exactly. You need something to get your hand back. especially if somebody likes to draw a lot of cards. So you basically draw the difference between you and your opponent. So and you can cast that for free with Evoke. So
You remember when I played that in Brago? That's where it's really, really fun.
Yeah, Brago is so good. Wild Blossoms, really good for 1v1, but it's good in Commander too.
Yeah.
It's good in multiplayer too. I mean, you can draw a card.
It's a nice little cantrip, yeah. Kind of like Elvish Mystic.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of the card draw. And then a little bit more
Utilities and stuff. Oh yeah, there we go.
well, this is more. It's a School Clamp. You get to draw a card. I have a lot of creatures with toughness 1. I don't care. They can go to the graveyard. I'll draw cards. I know that's a little harsh, but
Well, any of those early game mana dorks, like the Animar elves, like you don't need that guy in several turns. Like all your creatures are gonna cost like 3 anyway, so
yeah.
what do you need him for?
Recommendations say just like, okay, you got rid of
Yeah,
the thing
you did what
need.
you were supposed to do.
You did what you were supposed to do, okay. And you can always get Reclamation Sage back from the graveyard, so it's always a good card. It has a lot more utility in the graveyard. I mean, you can't bounce it, but it really depends. Elvish Visionary, it's just card draw. I mean, that art is amazing. Why wouldn't you play with that that artwork? I mean, Glimpse of Nature, very early game. Can be late game, but it's like you draw 3 cards like turn 3 or 4. So
Yeah, this is a card I have yet to play with. It's one of the ones that you play all the time, and I see it work really, really well. But I've never had a good or big enough creature deck to really play it in. Besides my Animar deck, and yeah,
yeah, you kind of have to tailor your deck around that card. The cheaper your creatures are, the better. Especially if you run more.
Oh, yeah.
You run a lot of morph. I mean, that's gonna be your creatures are for free.
Card draw.
You get free card draws. So.
Oh, staple.
And then the staple, yeah, the
Old Drifter.
You can draw 2. So
And usually you're just playing them for 1 blue.
yeah,
Can't complain about that.
nothing wrong with that. You can even like cast him for his original mana cost if it's high enough. Okay, so I think we're good with that.
So I know you have some recursion up here in the corner here, like your Den Protector and Eternal Witness.
Okay. Oh, Den Collector. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, so Den Collector, cast it for free, you morph it. It's great. And Eternal Witness, basically the same
See,
thing. So.
I know a lot of people really like this card, but I really don't care for it. I mean, I think I understand why it's good, I just have never really liked it, whereas Eternal Witness, obviously, like, that card's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in a lot of decks, if it's not Animar, you're never really going to see the strength of that card. I know
That's more.
Yeah, I know in Animar, I mean, it's free. If you play, like, Glimpse of Nature, you're going to be able to draw. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I love the card. I'm going to keep it in.
Yeah.
And then, what else are we going to look at? Let's look at card search.
Yeah, you've got a lot of that, and this is definitely, as we've talked about many times on this channel, like card search, Commander, it's definitely a touchy thing. A lot of people don't really care for it, but I don't know, in these types of decks, it's just fun. Like I've said a million times, I think it's just how you perceive the game, how you like to enjoy the game, and I know you really like to play the game. Like I want to get done with this game in like 40 minutes or 30 minutes. I don't want to be here for 3 hours.
I mean, there's a lot of creatures that get a lot of utility in here.
Yeah.
I think the card search really helps with that.
Yes.
Get your utility, figure out what you want to play, and the different ways, especially with like all these creatures, there's different ways to play a certain reaction to whatever your opponent's doing that gets you further ahead.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's always different.
Well, and I think you have a lot more like combos too, like strong combo synergies than I usually have.
Yeah, I do run a lot of combos. So. Tricky Mage, it's good. You can get your Soul Ring. Animar dies, cast him out. Don't
Skull
have to play
Clamp
that.
is a huge one,
And
obviously.
then Skull Clamp, wherever that one is. That's okay. But
Somewhere.
yeah, so Skull Clamp. So I mean, it's just good. It does what it needs to do. So.
Exactly.
And then the Eye of Ugin. Do you run this card?
I don't actually, and after seeing you put it out here, that might be a good include. Because it's actually, you know, as many Eldrazi as these decks run, it's pretty big. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, soon we'll touch on yours, but I mean, I have Ulamog, Kozilek. I think I have an Ith that's betrays in mine as well, stuff like that. So I mean, that's Wormcoil Engine's a huge one.
Wormcoil Engine, yeah. And the cool thing about this card especially, if your Eldrazi's cost 2 less, means getting them out sooner.
Yeah. Even sooner than Animar, you know, already is.
Yeah.
Which is insane already. So
I mean, you bring them out like what, turn 8?
Well,
not turn 8, but like
I was gonna say
8.
in my Animar deck, I can usually get them out like on turn 5 if I'm really pushing it. You know.
Yeah. So I think this card's always good. You do have to be a little bit careful because it does not add for anything.
Yeah. So do you run 38 lands then, or?
So basically, I run 30 flat.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. I get away with a lot.
I don't know how.
I get away with a lot.
That's pretty cool that you've made that work.
Yeah. Fierce Empath is really good in Animar. If you're not running it, you need to run it because that will get you your Eldrazi's, that will get you
Maelstrom Wanderer,
your Wormcoil Engine, your Maelstrom Wanderers, stuff like that.
That's usually what I use that guy for, is Maelstrom Wanderer. But mine centers a lot more on Cascade than yours does.
That's true. That's very true. Imperial Recruiter. I'm sorry, guys, if you don't have the budget. Imperial Recruiter is so...
If you don't have the budget and you're not playing white, then this is your only choice.
Yeah. So
it's a cool card.
Yeah, I really like it because I can search for a clone, copy him, search for another clone. It just accelerates Animar that much further.
Get a lot of trade.
And I get an Imperial Recruiter after all that. So he's just great. You can search for anything. I have a lot of low ballers that do a lot of stuff, so I want to get them out and search for my low stuff.
Well, a big one, just to kind of like touch on that a little bit, like Spellskite. Like this card, I don't know, I have it in my deck as well, and putting Spellskite out to protect your commander, because a lot of people will try and get rid of Animar, you know, as soon as they see him. Obviously, a lot of people are going to have a lot of trouble with it being pro-black and pro-white, but for those red mages and blue spellcasters, you know, this card is amazing. Just being able to, you know, just bury their lightning bolt, you know, say if they're just going after your Animar or whatever.
Yeah.
I've found it pretty much invaluable.
And not to mention my newest edition, which is Forgotten Age.
Oh, yeah.
So this card is great because it gets Animar back. It's also very threatening, and you get a counter whenever your opponent's cast. If you have 4 players, I mean, this guy gets big pretty quick. So they either have to respond to what he does or respond to Animar, but usually the correct play is to get rid of him first and not Animar. Because if you get rid of Animar first...
Let's be honest, the correct play is the Terminus.
Terminus? That's true.
Who's going to have that on hand?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. But he's super good. You can also get Zua, you can get Lotus Cobra. There's so many stuff. He's just such a good card.
Yeah.
Birthing Pod.
Definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, so basically in a infinite combo deck, if you want to win, you need as much search as possible, and that gets it out for free. So, well, it does it not really for free. You still have to pay like 1 and 2 life, but
yeah, usually that's. I mean, unless you have extra mana sitting around, which you might in your Animar deck. The thing that you really focused on is like, what am I leading into? Like, I'm gonna sacrifice this 3 converted mana cost creature to get what 4 converted mana cost creature. Yeah, sorry, I had a flood. Like, talking about your Forgotten Ancient again, like, say you play your Wood Elves and you just don't, obviously need it anymore, you just sacrifice this and go get Forgotten Ancient, Pophoros, any of those really big 4-drops. Just a really cool card.
Yeah, and something I like about this is creatures that can untap. So Pestermite.
Yep.
So something I like, and Zealous Conscripts. So something I like to do is tap this, sack like a creature with 2, get Pestermite, untap it, sack Pestermite, and then get Ancestral Statue and go infinite.
Let's put it in the view.
Yeah, something like that. You can also use Zealous Conscript to untap it, but I tend to not favor that play. I like to snatch things or untap creatures or make a creature have haste. But I mean, there's a lot of utility.
Well, I mean, let's focus here for a second. Like, this guy with Animar by itself is an infinite combo. Like,
yeah,
when this card was printed, I mean, I queued onto it right away, and I think you did too. Like as soon as we saw it, it was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I remember when the set came out,
Oh.
and I was looking at Animar, and I was thinking, I don't know if I really want to build this guy. And then I saw a ancestral statue, a card that in like a format like standard, I was thinking, I was like, this card's trash. But then I started thinking about Animar, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's broken.
Yeah.
He can go infinite. That's
well,
insane.
and I definitely think this is the format where he applies himself, the best. Really.
Yeah.
And especially in this deck.
And he also combos with Forgotten Ancient, so you infinite combo. Forgotten Ancient gets infinitely big. You get to put his
so then
counters.
You have 2 attackers, like.
Well, he gets to put his counters on other stuff. So it's any. See, it's creatures, right? So you can just put it on anything.
It's only at your upkeep you can move the counters, though. So generally, I guess the way I'm thinking about it is like in that moment, you can have if you have 2 opponents and. For example, you can usually just kill somebody with Animar just right away because they're playing probably black and white and whatever.
Yeah.
And then just have the other Forgotten Ancient bat for backup or whatever. Or just have your Thassa.
Have your Thassa. That was so good. Just spray one. I don't know why I wasn't playing with this card earlier.
I know I had to show you it.
Steve's like, this counts as a creature, right? I was like, really?
I can give Animar unblockable, right?
Oh, really?
Especially if you're combo killing like that. I mean, really, you might as well just finish him off.
So let's focus
Might
on
as well go through the rest of your search there.
Oh yeah.
Since we kind of got sidetracked a little bit. Yeah, we stopped at Imperial Recruiter. I think we still have these guys to go through.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you want me to put them up there?
Sure, go for it. You just put them all
a really big one.
On a Shaman, yep.
Which, a strong comparison to Survival of the Fittest.
Survival of the Fittest is broken.
Yeah.
It probably, I hate to say this, but Survival of the Fittest probably needs to get banned in EDH. It's really...
I guess I don't experience it much outside of your deck, because you're one of the only, 2 people that I know that even have a Survival of the Fittest. I've never owned the card. I know it's good, but I don't see it that often.
It's completely, it's bonkers. You can kind of just win the game with just Survival of the Fittest. It's insane.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's, way too strong.
I know this card very well, because I play it all the time. Fauna Shaman's amazing. I usually, you have a ton of creatures that are just, once again we talked about with the Birthing Pod, your Llanowar Elf late game is just whatever. If you draw it, you can just pitch it and go get what you actually want.
Yeah, so she's just great, especially early game. I love her. So,
and of course we've got the spell versions of Surge here. Green Sun Zenith obviously is great. Tutor is obviously great. Both of them are just awesome. And like you were saying earlier, you really like. I guess your rabbit. Yeah, Dryad Arbor.
Dryad Arbiter.
That's a really solid turn 1 play.
You guys played elves. You know how strong it is.
Oh yeah.
You know how strong it is. Whirly Tutor's great. Instant spell. Get what you need. It's great. I think that's about it for Surge.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to focus a little bit on your utility kind of stuff right now. I know we already talked about Spell Skype, but you've got other great things in here Gilded Drake.
Yeah, so Gilded Drake you have to be careful with. Do not target a blue player with this card.
Anybody that can make a clone of it, really.
I know, it's scary. If you play this card, you kind of want to be in a position where you can win. Otherwise, they're going to take Animar. It's just 3-0.
I notice it more in rune decks. They're those decks. I mean, they can be pretty brutal, but they always play Gilded Drake or the Chimera guy. I can't remember his name right now, but basically they just play this guy and they have their Homeward Path up. So it's just oh yeah, I'll just do the Gilded Drake thing, use my Homeward Path, get the Gilded Drake back, bounce it with Rune, and it's just oh god, this is devastating.
Yeah,
super annoying.
If you play Gilded Drake, a big card that you really want is Mana War.
Yeah.
So target Gilded Drake, return it back to your hand. Make sure they can't snatch your stuff. Your stuff is going to be probably a little bit more valuable than your opponent because you're focusing on the early mid game, at least my deck. So, and Mana War bounces itself. If you want to get Animar bigger, it bounces another creature like Kozilek. I mean, You can bounce Maelstrom Wanderer if you want to. The mana's kind of weird, but if you had
if you
the
had
mana dorks to do it, do it.
Well, I mean, we could probably talk about the Drake too here.
Oh yeah, here's the Drake.
You showed me this card because I hadn't been playing with it, and it's. I put it in my deck as soon as you kind of showed it to me, and it's really good. Shrieking Drake is nothing, it's not, obviously it's not the Ancestral Statue, but you can definitely get a few counters on Animar if you need to, especially if you have enough blue. So
Yeah, very early game, but it's great late game. I mean, just bounce the stuff that you want double triggers on, whether it's Greater Hope Behemoth, Ancestral Statue, a different Ulamog, just stuff like that.
yeah.
So it's good. It's good early to late game. Not so good maybe mid game, but it's great.
And then with that, you might as well talk about one of the best blinkers, or best two blinkers, really.
Oh, okay. Let's see which one. This one. Oh yeah. Venser.
Like this, I don't know about you, but I love this card in my deck because it not only can help you bounce your own creatures back to your hand, but the big thing with my deck is it protects against like uncounterable board wipes and stuff like that. Like
That's the only way to really
Yeah.
deal with it.
like just being able to bounce the Springbird back to their hand.
I know. It's
There's
good.
not like a whole lot of effects that can really do that.
There was we were running the creature that makes your stuff
Indestructible.
indestructible.
Yeah.
That was the
Phyrexian-
new skin or
what was his name?
Phyrexian or something like
Yeah, I
that.
can't remember his name.
But I mean, we both play tested it, and we both realized that card probably wasn't
Well,
as good. As
I
we
found
thought.
most of the time that I was just tapped out, like I didn't have mana to activate his ability with, and since it costs 5, I mean that's quite a bit. But
That card was bonkers. But then Consecrated Sphinx got banned, so
Consecrated Sphinx.
what's the one that untaps your lands whenever your opponent?
I can't
big
remember
one.
her name.
The big one.
What's the blue-green Seaborn Muse?
Prophet Crufix.
There we go. Gosh,
Yeah.
Prophet and Crufix. It's
Yeah,
been
that
so
got
long
banned.
since we've gotten to play with that card that I don't even remember it.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
Prophet Crufix got banned.
You don't run
Um,
Seaborn Muse?
I do not.
Okay. You never made that switch.
I don't know. I mean, it's good, but I don't really have anything to play on my opponent's turn.
That makes
so,
sense.
I mean, I don't think I really need it, but it's something I could try. You know, see if I like it. So Dreamstalker's bounce. You bounce him. You bounce him early. He's basically like Drake, so it's
Yeah.
basically the same thing.
Oh yeah, there's another big one too.
So Cloudstone, I don't know like if I want to run. There's a newer creature that lets you search for an artifact with mana cost 3.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't know how essential this card is, but I think it might be essential enough to run that card. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm sure you could probably find some creatures to throw in there that, artifact creatures that you could also search up with it. That way it's not a dead draw.
That's true. But this card makes plays. I mean,
Yeah.
you can basically, if you had this combined with something like something that gives you mana, like a Cloudstone
Or Cloud of Fairies.
Cloud of Fairies. Sorry, Cloud of Fairies. You can kind of
Peregrine
go
Drake.
Peregrine Drake. You can go infinite. You can get infinite mana, which is something that's.
Well, I
really,
know
really
that
good.
we've talked about this before, but like in my deck, I go for the Palancron thing, where you just have infinite mana and infinite bounces. We've always kind of gone, back and forth, where yours is more of like a early game, mine's more like late game.
Yeah.
I still don't know why you just don't run Palancron. That card is crazy.
Well, I might convert to it. I mean, I'm thinking about getting the Drake that lets you untap 5 mana.
The Peregrine Drake, yeah.
Because I'm having a little bit of mana issues. I don't quite know what to cut for that yet. Because
That's something that we've both talked about. Whenever we talk about Animar, it's like, how do we make cuts? Because there's just so many like good creatures in here that it's ridiculous. And a big part of mine is actually it's just a creature deck. Like I don't have anything besides lands and creatures in my deck, which is the biggest difference between our decks. And essentially that was just a reaction to what do I cut? So I just ended up cutting everything besides creatures, and now it's more gimmicky, but it's still a lot of fun to play with.
that's true.
That's so ridiculous to me. That's in this deck.
Guys,
That's probably how you ended up on 30 lands.
probably. Guys, there are combos that have not been unleashed yet that Steve has not seen with this card.
No.
But there are really cool combos with it. Okay, so first one is Kozilek and Ulamog. Blow up the board, draw what you want, right?
Yeah.
Basically, draw a majority of your deck. This is infinite by itself. Exile everything. It's insane. You could do that with Artists of Kozilek if you want to get stuff from your graveyard. But another cool thing is they kind of combo into themselves with if you just had that and your Cloudstone or
Cloud of Fairies?
Cloud of Fairies, yes. Cloud of Fairies. That's an infinite combo. If you wanted to do Ulamog, that's an infinite combo, and that can win you the game right there.
Oh, yeah.
And then you don't quite need Cloud of Fairies 2 if you wanted to do something different, like Pestermite, for example. Yeah. It kind of does it itself. So these are not combos I've unleashed yet, but there are definitely
something you can smash everybody's face with.
Something I could show everybody just to make them more
well, and then
discouraged.
like not even to
unfortunately
think about this, but can you imagine this setup? Like, ugh.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's very true. That
well, I mean, obviously this is kind of secondary. Like you could do this with anything. Like, you could do this with a Pestermite, really.
Yeah, I know.
Just play your Pestermite and then have your Pofros. The reason I say colorless is because obviously Animar gets around the colorless casting cost, so this is essentially free, whereas this one you have to pay a blue with, but you can just untap that land to keep playing it.
That's true. Here's another strong, it's not an infinite combo, but it's definitely synergy. Greater Hope Behemoth with Cloudstone into if you're lucky, which you might be. But something like that could be a possibility.
Lucky enough to have an Italian guy's cradle.
Yeah, you like tap, add like whatever mana, cast Greater Hoof, bounce it, cast again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. So Cloudstone might be something that I want to invest more into if I want to get that creature. I mean, it really depends. But okay, so we talked about the...
I'm sure you could find plenty of three cost artifact creatures to put in here, or even just other permanents to put in here to make it worth it.
Yeah, so I will have to look. I'll have to look on that.
Well, I guess, I mean, technically, you could go get your Shardless Agent with that.
That's true. That's
not
very
bad.
true.
There's
That's
one right there.
Yeah, I could get that. Is there another? I don't know if I have any other artifact creature I can really get with that, though.
Not that I have seen, but I mean, it's been a while since I've actually played against you.
Because her ability is they have to be at 3, right?
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
3. That's it.
Yeah, so...
I think it's like Trophy Mage or something like that.
Yeah, so I might want to consider doing that. I mean, it really depends. I mean, any search that you put in your deck is going to make it more consistent.
Yeah.
So,
well, we are dealing with a 99 card deck, so
yeah.
The more you can narrow it down, the better.
The more you can thin it, the more you can search it, the more consistent it's going to be.
Well, and since we kind of already touched on these, we might as well kind of talk about them. Like, Eldrazi in this deck are absolutely insane. I think we've already stated this once, but any kind of colorless creature, like, it's just a strong synergy with him. Like, any of these guys, like, colorless, it's definitely the way to go. I think I have, like, upwards of 8 or 9 colorless creatures in my deck. You probably run a few less than I do, but yeah, just being able to cast these things for free pretty early, it's pretty insane. So
you gotta pay life for that. But
yeah,
it's still,
it's still the same idea.
I count as a colorist.
I'm with you there.
This is a new card I added in,
Artisan,
and I really like it with Survival of the Fittest because something I did in one of my games is I had Survival of the Fittest out. I got rid of Consecrated Sphinx because I did not have the blue mana to cast it, so I just put it in the graveyard.
Yeah,
and I got that out for free. And then I got my Consecrated Sphinx.
There you go.
I think I'm so glad I added that card. It is so good. I don't know why I wasn't running it before, but I'm so glad I'm running it
and
now.
it's no slouch. A 10-9 with 2 Annihilator, like, that is not terrible at all.
Yeah, that's not
Especially
something that
since
you scoff at for sure.
You're usually casting it for either free or like 1 or 2, so it's definitely not bad.
Yeah, that's not something that I would like scoff at.
Obviously big players like Ulamog, like that card's insane. Like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
Kozilek.
Something me and Steve really need to hit on. If you're playing Animar, there's not going to be a lot of recursion in your deck. So if a lot of creatures die, you need a way to shuffle them back.
Oh yeah.
So make sure.
Whether
Whether
you're
it's
running the old Ulamog or the old Kozilek, like one of those two should be fine.
Yeah, I would definitely add at least one of those.
I definitely wouldn't want to waste the space on like an Elixir of Immortality, not in something like this. I know it's usually a big utility piece and whatever, but in this deck, I think the Eldrazi are the way to go.
Yeah, Eldrazi's are the way to go. You cast them for free, they go in the graveyard, that's great. Search them out too. You can play them again.
Yeah.
Cascade for Animar is insane.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Cascade really quick. We don't have a lot of options when it comes to Cascade stuff. And I do not run the Mage.
Or the Minotaur.
The Minotaur Mage, yeah, I don't run that one.
I think the 3 that you have are
But these are fun
pretty
enough. Early game, and I can cast this early.
Yeah.
It really depends.
This is, like I said earlier, this is usually a card that I look for in my deck. Just being able to get all your guys' haste is huge.
Yeah.
Plus that and double Cascade, you can't really can't complain about that at all.
That's true. And if you have Eldrazi's with Annihilator and they're swinging the first turn they come out.
As soon as they
insane.
come out, oh, that's just disgusting.
One colorless creature we did not get.
Already be?
Yeah, it's give me 1 second, guys.
Yeah. This, just while I take a second here, this is something new we're trying. Something kind of fun, where it's more of a deck discussion than a deck tech. So, Void Winnower. But anyway, just, if you want to comment on it, leave us a couple comments and we'll continue doing this.
If you guys like these
I'm thinking of trying to, is like a special guest kind of thing, when somebody wants to come talk about their deck, like I'm totally cool with, just chatting with somebody like we're doing right now and just kind of going over things.
Yeah. It's always nerve-wracking when you're doing this by yourself because you feel so alone, but now you get to talk to somebody not saying 100 times. It's great.
Yeah.
So Void Winner is broken
Yeah.
in Animar because you can cast it for free. They can't even do anything.
Well, and I know I've talked about this before on the channel, but the fact that this only affects your opponents and doesn't affect you, I think that's what pushes this card over the edge.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite card that came out of that entire set.
And I remember pulling this too.
Yeah.
This isn't something I bought. I got lucky.
Pre-release pack.
I got lucky with that.
Yeah.
But super good. Combo that with Edric. You can draw cards. You can win games with your Forgotten Ancient if he gets picked. So it's just great. So let's talk
I know
about.
we've got these guys over here, like kind of a little bit more like removal and like utility kind of stuff like that. Like you've got your big counter ones here, like your Stratus Dancer, your Nicolanlandra. I know we already talked about Venser, but there's usually not a whole lot of, I guess, response in this type of deck.
Yeah, you need to protect your board state, especially when you get it out early. They're going to want to board wipe. So something like Status Dancer, where you can get out for free and bounce it, or do the morph for 2 is really good. Glenandra,
especially since they can't react to this, like unless they have like a split second spell or whatever. But that's pretty good. Well, I guess they can't even react to split second. What am I talking about? That's the only thing that goes faster.
Yeah, so that's great. Glenandra is freaking great. When you want to lock the board down, that's what you play. It says.
Well, and especially with something like a Forgotten Ancient, because you can just move one of those +1/+1 counters off your Forgotten Ancient.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. I mean, I haven't even done that. See, this is the cool thing with Animar. There's so many. You have so many flexibility.
Little combo things. I know you've got Reclamation Sage. I think I run the bigger guy. What's his name? Acidic Slime.
Acidic Slime.
Yeah. I mean, they both do pretty much the same job. I just like Acidic Slime as a blocker a little bit better.
Oh yeah, Acidic Slime's more probably mid game. This is more early game.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like her. She's pretty cool. The main reason why I'm playing her instead of the Acidic Slime is I usually Skull Climber to draw 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
and I can usually get her back from the graveyard.
And obviously, you know,
A little bit more easy.
some
to
graveyard
bounce.
hate, something that should probably be in every deck, especially with our meta. You know.
Yeah. So this plus this is pretty insane.
yeah.
If they're playing like Carador and they put a whole bunch of cards in the graveyard, all you do is tap this, get rid of all their creatures, getting all that life, and this guy becomes huge. So
Can't complain about that.
no, I can't. Yeah, that's super good, super strong synergy. And then
I think I think we're gone over pretty much everything except for like our land. Oh, we need Kiki Jiki in there though.
yeah,
We didn't touch on him yet.
Kiki Jiki is a combo finisher for obvious reasons. You copy clones, but like the main ones is probably like Zealous Conscripts or Pestermine, you know.
Yeah.
You can also copy your bounce stuff to bounce stuff. He's kind of hard to cast. So
Yeah, triple red, I can imagine.
yeah. So I kind of have to kind of cast him in kind of a cheeky way, whether it's with the mana door, but I tend not to cast him with my regular lands.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to cast, but he's basically a finisher. Copying a Wormcoil Engine pretty early is
Yeah, and
scary.
I know as far as finishers goes, we've already talked about this guy, but he really is just, I mean,
yeah.
with as many combos that are in this deck that require or go around, you know, you casting a creature multiple times, Tofros will just finish the game pretty quickly.
Pretty much,
Especially
yes.
since it affects each opponent.
and like stuff like that with Wormcoil Engine is super good too.
Yeah.
And then something I really want to emphasize on is so their new set came out.
Oh yeah, where is he?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
There, I'll help you search. Like I added this guy into my deck too, and it's the Vizier of the Meandry. That
Oh, here
card
it
is.
is.
There we go. That card is absolutely.
So
bonkers.
we gotta talk about a few cards really quick.
some newer additions that you have.
Yeah,
in
so
there.
these are new cards I added in, and they have just been working out very well.
Yeah.
So he's the new one. He basically, he's the replacement for Donnery Ray because you
Yeah.
don't get a counter for Donnery Ray.
Well, and I know we've talked about this several times. I don't really care for planeswalkers in this deck. Like
Not really.
it's a wasted opportunity to run another creature, which Animar wants to do. So
Yeah, you can keep going too. Keep
Yeah.
going. These two together, as long as it's green, I mean, you can like put
any
that card on
combination of
top.
these cards together, like Rashmi with Mormar Vig is pretty good too.
I know these cards like have such strong synergy.
Yeah.
I would recommend if you are building Animar to run these.
I definitely see why your deck leans a lot towards blue. I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like blue-green is a super potent combination. So
This guy is kind of the new powerhouse I've been experimenting with, and I just love this card. There's a lot of cool combos that you can do with him, especially these two. So he's definitely really really good. I would definitely suggest playing him. And there's a lot of cool stuff that you can
going more into like the blue-green thing.
yeah. Blue green, just a lot of stuff that you can do with it. I especially like Cascade, being able to cast a Cascade, figure out what I want on top, and Cascade that creature, and I can keep going too.
Yeah.
As long as it's green, I can keep going. If it's blue, I can draw. So he's really
Well, and
good.
that's one thing that I've kept thinking about, like, was running this guy with like Oracle of Moldiah, and like if you have a Zuza and Oracle, and then this guy, like you can, like, oh, it's a land, I'll put the land into play. Oh, it's a creature, I'll play the creature with Vizier. Oh, it's another land, I'll put the land into play. So that way you don't necessarily stop yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I mean,
So guys,
I don't even think you run Oracle, do you?
I do not run
Yeah.
Oracle. I probably should, but so guys, I would definitely pick him up.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you're running Animar, pick him up. He's super good. He definitely will not let you down.
New tech.
And then
I think with that, I mean, I think we're down to lands, really.
Yeah, we're just
we've gone
up to
over
the-
pretty much everything.
yeah, we're just up to the mana base.
And you know, we've talked about Gaia's Cradle quite a bit. You know, it's an awesome card if you have it. Command Tower, like
you have to
one of
run
your-
it. You
One
have
of
to
your
run
like
it.
lands is pretty much required. But two of the ones that I've kind of wanted to focus on, we talked about this before we started recording here, but not a lot of people, like, I have never played with Thran Quarry before. This card is really cool. I've seen you play it, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Ancient Ziggurat's another one of those that not a lot of people know about. I have it. It's definitely a card worth playing in a deck that runs a ton of creatures. So I don't know if you want to talk about this one a little bit. But
So my deck's really island heavy, but any deck that you have more than one color, it's very creature heavy. I would recommend playing this because it's any color. And then getting rid of your creatures.
As long as, I mean, I guess the way that I look at it, as long as you don't get like a board wipe, you're good. Because I mean, as soon as you don't have a creature at your upkeep, I think that's how this works.
Yeah.
Oh, end of turn. So as long as you don't get board wiped, you should be good. Even if you do get board wiped,
hopefully you
should
have a
throw
Whirlpool
something
engine.
in, yeah.
Or
Or even something you could flash in like a Venser.
Yeah,
so
true.
it's an interesting card for this type of deck. I mean, I probably wouldn't run in a whole lot of places that like control decks or anything like that. But in here, it definitely makes sense.
And then that just adds any color, but you spend it on creatures, but that's fine. This is more tailored to 1v1, but it's still great. So Animar comes out, he's a 1/1. He's pretty fragile, except for the protection for black and white.
I know I'd like to have this whenever my opponents have a Staff of Nin. That's for
yeah,
sure.
I'd just be like, yeah, there's a lot of things that can do 1 damage to something, so it's just great.
Yeah.
You just tap that, and it becomes bigger. So these are kind of what we can go over pretty quickly.
And you've got your shock lands.
Shock
Those are pretty,
lands.
I mean, everybody pretty much plays those. But then we've got our dual lands, which you've invested, time and money into.
Yeah, dual lands. This is painted by the famous artist Steve Morrison. So I'm very happy about getting that. This guy wanted to just trade it, and I was like, okay.
Well, I know we've just focused on it for a second. I know we've talked about it many times, but I really wish that I would have added a snowman right there. I think that would have been cool.
You can always add a snowman.
Yeah,
I
that's
won't
true.
complain. You just do what you can go to town with that card. That's fine. So double blue is great. Kiki Jiki is having a hard time casting him, so I had to add this card in.
Have you thought about adding the red-green one in?
Maybe. I mean, it's like my focus is on blue so much that I don't know if I really truly need it. But a lot of the reason why I don't run it is probably because I have so many mana dorks that add green anyway. So I have like 3.
Well, and I know those lands can be tricky to play with sometimes. Like I've gotten a hand where I've had all 3 of them in my hand. It's just like, well, great. I might as well mulligan right now.
So this is a pretty cool card. Your opponent's getting life. So they're not mad at you for playing Animar. They get a soft spot.
So a little bit more political again.
Oh yeah, it's like you guys getting 1 life. Congratulations.
And let's talk about fetch lands. I mean, you can run all of them except for 1 in this deck, so you might as well.
If you're
you've
playing,
got
if you're playing a very hyper competitive deck, fetch lands are great because it thins your deck out. It also with Lotus Cobra, it's insane. So
this is more of like what I like about with your deck is the Lotus Cobra synergy with your fetch lands.
Yeah.
Like I don't really think you need to go this crazy in most decks, but this is pretty cool.
Yeah, these are just insane.
Yeah.
You wanna add a lot of mana, play both of those, and you'll get tons. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's
yeah. I mean,
that's
I
basically
think that's the whole deck.
as far as basics, I mean that's like 4 islands and 2 forests. So that's basics for you.
One up there, but
Well, I went through. I had to make a list on tap out, and I noticed that I have 101 cards.
oh yeah, this guy's pretty well known for that. Accidentally having another card. That's probably why Momar Vig is in a matte sleeve instead of a shy sleeve. So you might as well just change that around.
Yeah.
But I mean, Animar, it's definitely a force to be reckoned with. It's one of those. I definitely would say it's a tier 1 commander. It is insane. It does exactly what you want to do. There's not really a whole lot of other commander decks that focuses heavily on just getting your creatures out for ridiculous low amounts of mana that as efficiently as Animar does, in my opinion.
And it's not it's not like you're winning just one way.
Yeah,
That's what I like about it. There's a lot of utility in the deck. You can win different ways. So
I'm gonna go ahead and do this here for you.
yeah, sure.
I noticed that as we were going through them. There you go, buddy.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
But anyway, with that, that's Loren's deck review. Like I said, it's a pretty tuned deck. If you're looking to check it out his Tapped Out. We'll put a link on the description here. That way you can actually look at it. And, with that, that's the end of the video. So do your regular stuff, like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what we did right. Tell us what you'd like to see differently, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Bye.